Hey everyone, in response to my previous video on diversity in reading, I would like to show you a TBR list of books that I want to read that are by a more diverse author base than what I've previously been reading. Now I'm really excited to show you all the books and I can't wait to read them. I'm hoping to read at least a couple of them in the next few months. Although you know how any TBR list goes, they go right out the window, so we'll see what happens, but I at least want to talk about these books today. Now the first book I want to talk about, I'm already currently reading, and you might have seen it in my most recent Friday Reads video, and that is The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. Now this is a story about a young boy growing up on a Native American reserve in America, and this of course is written by a Native American author from the States. I'm thoroughly enjoying this one. It's such an insightful read and really, I think, gives an accurate perspective on what life is like on a reservation. Now, I'm really enjoying this one. I definitely will be picking up further books by Sherman Alexie to read more of his collection. However, I would also like to read an Aboriginal book by a Canadian author, just because, of course, I am Canadian and I want to read things that are representative of my country. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Now the next book I want to talk about is Tomorrow There Will Be Apricots by Jessica Soffer, and she is an Iraqi author, I believe currently living in the United States. And this story essentially revolves around two women who are both suffering through grief in their own way and meet each other and form a sort of friendship slash family connection in which they basically kind of find meaning in each other's lives. And I believe there's a lot of cooking involved in this, which I absolutely love reading about food. So I'm really excited to read this one. I'm actually hoping to pick it up on the sooner side because I did get this one out from the library and I'm looking forward to it. Now the next book I want to read is The Pursuit of Happiness, with happiness spelled with a Y, by Chris Gardner. Now you might recognize this book, which of course was turned into a movie starring Will Smith. I absolutely love the movie and the story, which was based off of the true life of Chris Gardner. And because I enjoyed the movie so much, I really want to read the memoir that he personally wrote about his experience and like to see how much was changed in the movies and really get to hear the story from his point of view. Chris Gardner is an African-American man living in the United States, and I just really think I'll enjoy this book. It gives a good perspective on the pursuit of the American dream, and I'd really like to learn more about Chris Gardner as a person. Now the next book I want to read is How to Get Filthy Rich in Rising Asia by Monsud Hamid, if I'm saying that correctly, and he is a Pakistani author. And this book essentially is about the journey of a young boy who goes on to become a rich tycoon in Asia. And I've heard nothing but good things about this book, so I definitely want to give it a read. Now the next book that I want to read is Crazy Rich Asian by Kevin Kwan. Now this is a book about families who live in Singapore, and one of the sons, I believe, brings home his American-born Chinese girlfriend, who is shocked to find out how rich his family really is. And I've heard this book is hilarious and I think it would be really interesting to read about. I know nothing about Singapore, so I think it would be really interesting to read from an author who is from Singapore himself. Now the very last book I want to mention in this video is Battle Royale by, and I'm going to butcher this name, Kaushin Takami, who is a Japanese author. And Battle Royale, a lot of people say it was the original Hunger Games, where it's, I believe, an island or some sort where there's a bunch of children battling it out to the death. It's supposed to be very dark and gruesome, but I'm very interested in seeing what it's all about and how it compares to the Hunger Games, which of course has been so popular recently. So I'm curious to see how those two compare. That's it for the books that I have on my list. As I go, I'd like to hopefully find other books from a diverse author base that I'm interested in reading and maybe do a follow-up video in the future. But that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know if you have any recommendations. If you've read any of these, I'm definitely interested in reading from a more diverse kind of scope of authors, so suggestions are always welcome. That's how I learn about books, so I appreciate that. Thanks everyone, have a good one. Okay, bye.